going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel Anderzen. Got a special one for you today, so let's go ahead and get right into it. So first off, huge shout out to Victory Road Performance, VRP, for sending these out for us to review on the channel. Let me go ahead and show you guys what we got. So right here we have VRP's secondary air injection block-off plates. Let's go ahead and get these open so we can take a closer look. So here they are, beautiful billet aluminum pieces with the VRP logo etched in as well. Now, what are these for? These are for deleting your secondary air injection pump. Now, why would you want to delete that? Let me explain. All right, so here is a secondary air injection pump. And why would you need to get rid of this? So in reality, there's no direct performance benefit for deleting the SI pump. However, it does just kind of eliminate one extra piece that's in the engine bay that's not really doing anything necessary for this specific application when I know that I'm building the car for track usage, trying to get rid of it as just a means of shedding a tiny bit of weight, but more importantly, getting rid of any extra components within the engine bay to simplify things in whatever way I can. You will need to code this out, which I will do so, probably won't be included in the video, but you will need to code this out, otherwise you'll get a check engine light because it is an emission system. Its job is to try to send circulated air to the catalytic converters in order to heat the car up faster. But I don't need that to be done. And this thing is, we've made a video before rebuilding it and it's already kind of starting to whine again. And it's just something that I don't need and that's unnecessary. So other people may have other purposes, but that is why we are looking to delete it. So what's actually going to come off, I don't know how well you guys will be able to see it, but down here, these actually plug in down into the heads of the engine, I believe, on each side. And those will be basically coming out and it will remove all of this front componentry and just clear up a lot more space.
Look at all this floor space. So much aerobics in here. So many activities.
In the front of the engine bay, which you guys know me, this whole car build has been about, trying to be as minimal as possible and get things as basic as possible, like adding a dipstick back into the engine, and just things like that to make it clean and make it easy to work on. So getting rid of this whole setup in the front will just make things that much more clean and that much simpler to work on in the future. So again, huge shout out to VRP. So excited to get these put in. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get to work. All right, so to get this thing off, we have some Torx heads over here if you want to remove the pump itself. I don't know if I'll have enough room to just remove the whole bracketry. Those are inverted Torx, probably like a E12 or so, E10 maybe. So I'll see what my plan of attack is going to be. Once I get all of this componentry out, I can remove, this hose off of here. Then it will give me a little more access down to the inverted Torx that are connecting these. So I will go ahead and get to work and just kind of give you guys a course of action once I have a better plan myself and give you guys the most efficient way after I kind of go through it. So check in with you soon. All right, so the pump itself is out. Still got more work remaining, but wanted to update you guys. The 3 bolts that hold this in are T27 Torx heads, and I used this kind of special tool we have to use with the Torx tools in tight spaces with the ratcheting wrench. Just makes it a lot easier to get to rather than using just a regular ratchet or anything like that. It won't fit in there with the space clearance that you have. The other ones that I'm going to go ahead and start undoing for the bracketry itself are E14s. They're a little bigger than I thought, but there's 1, 2, 3, 4. They already got one of them out, and I'm just going to get those out, and this whole bracket component will come out of here. And then after that, we can start working on the next steps. All right, so one other thing I forgot to mention as well, make sure you get the plug off when you are taking out the actual pump itself. And then there's also a ground wire here that was a size E12. So now that we have those ready to go, the one issue that I realized soon after I began taking these out is this bolt not going to be able to come out here with that valve controller in the way. So we're going to have to come back to that once we get these other pieces out. So to get these out, there is what looks like another E14 down there on each side, and it's tight, but they look like you know, you can get to them with an extension. So I'm gonna go ahead and try that now and see if I can get those out. All right, the one thing I recommend as well, I got the bolt out, but before I take this out, actually, it's pretty stuck in there, so I'm probably gonna use a little hammer mallet to get it started to pull out. But the one thing I recommend, because it was super dirty down in there, if you guys can see, I went ahead and sprayed it with brake clean just to get all of that grime and dirt that was stuck down there out of the way, just so nothing falls in once I pop it off. All right, so it is out, and you can see, man, that stuff is cruddy down there. So the one thing that VRP was unsure of with the M113Ks versus the M113NAs was if these block-off plates were the correct size, because the previous generation with the older style SAI pump had basically like a bushing inside of here that made it so it wasn't the same diameter as this protruding piece right there. But I just matched them up, and it's a perfect size, perfect fit. The gasket also came out with this, so I'm going to be reusing that underneath these, and just pay attention with the orientation of the gasket. Let's see if we can tell. So yeah, I mean, obviously the bottom side's a little dirtier, but this is the top side up here. It has the kind of protruding circle on top. The other side, you can tell it's been compressed down. So I'm going to clean this off, and then we'll end up reusing it underneath those plates. And the nice thing is the bolts that came out of there will fit no problem through these holes as well, and it's the same thickness side to side, so won't have any issues. You can just reuse the same factory hardware, which is really nice. So cool, we got one side off. I'm gonna go ahead and get that side cleaned out a little bit. We'll mount one of the plates, and then we'll move on to the right side, a little bit trickier side. All right, so there's one side down, looking nice and pretty. Got the nice VRP logo right there. I didn't look up torque specs or anything. There might be something for this, but these are both aluminum pieces, and it's going into an aluminum housing. So I just torqued it down snug, make sure it's tight, and don't wrench on it too crazy. So it should be good. I kept the factory gasket under there, and I could hear the gasket compressing a little bit, and it's not wiggling around at all once it's tight down. So we should be good. We're gonna go ahead and move on to this other side now. So while I was working, I find this little clip down hidden in here just as I'm going to start pulling this out. It was down there tucked underneath the injector on one of those sides. And I was like, I wonder what that clip is from. But then I remembered that my airbox cover has a broken tab on this right-hand side. So who knows how long, since I've had the car, it was broken, so who knows how long this was sitting down there. So cool. Got another piece of weight out of the car. Woo, all right. So getting these things out of the car is not the easiest. It's one of those things where like you're pulling on it and you could hit yourself in the face. So just be careful. My best method was kind of giving them a little tap with the rubber mallet at first, and then just while pulling up, kind of like seesaw it back and forth and try to get it up. So I see the gasket sitting right there. I'll go ahead and grab that. But yeah, not too bad. Just don't hit yourself in the face. Look how much cleaner that looks. I'm so pumped that these are in there now, and that whole componentry is now out of the engine bay. Look at how cluttered this is. Super happy with how it looks. The last step that you guys didn't see was getting the bracket out. Now, I toyed around with the idea of removing these components, but these are what controls the flaps inside of the intake manifold, and these are known to be very brittle with age and not the easiest to remove without breaking components. So I figured I might as well do my best to avoid removing any of those to get that bracket off. So instead, I just went old school route and cut the bolt. So I just used a little saw, a little hand saw to fit in there and cut that bolt off. Here's the top of it. And for the other holes, I went ahead and plugged them back up with the bolts that came out. This one's just gonna have to be left open for now. There's not enough threads left on there to actually thread into it, so no big deal. I'll leave that one open. One other thing I did as well was for the plug and the ground, I just went ahead and wrapped them up with some heat shield tape and just tucked them right in between there. So nice clean look, they're out of the way. You can see them down here. I might cover them with some black electrical tape. I just didn't have any handy later on, but perfectly out of the way and everything looks good. I also wanted to point out, if you do decide to delete the bracketry, you will have to find some other way to mount your front portion of your airbox. I'm not that worried about this. I'm probably just gonna leave this component off, to be honest, because I'm gonna end up doing a custom intake eventually. But yeah, if you wanted to delete everything, then you would just want to keep the bracket in place, so you can still have this bar there for that front part of the engine cover to mount onto. The only other thing that I did, I went ahead and plugged this up or covered it with some aluminum tape. This is the little valve that controls some of the vacuum pull from the pump itself. So I'm not sure if this will stick open or stick closed, what it will do before we coat the car. So I just figured might as well just block it off for now so that nothing else gets pulled in there, because this system also ties in to the intake here. So just to be on the safe side, I covered that up. Probably won't do anything, but yeah, better safe than sorry. And there they are, the final piece. Thank you again to VRP. They look excellent quality, and I'm so happy to actually be able to see the front of the engine. This will make a lot of future jobs, you know, that much cleaner and simpler, and just makes things that much easier to get to. So you be the judge. Do you want this in your engine bay? I know I don't. Now, that being said, you need to check with your state emissions laws and see what's doable for you. In Washington State, luckily, they've stopped doing emissions testing after 2020, so I don't have to worry about it, but definitely check your state laws to make sure that these components will be compliant with that. If anyone does need this unit, I'm probably gonna throw this whole componentry up on eBay. They're still good, it still works fine. It was annoying, like I said, but it still works absolutely fine. So I'll be putting that up on eBay. If you need it, just message me, DM me on Instagram. And the one other thing we need to do before we go, any supporter of the channel, anyone who offers parts or partnership or teams me in any way, they get the honor of being slapped on to the C55. Let's find a proper place for this. I think this ought to do. VRP, you guys are the real deal. Thank you for helping out the channel. Thank you for making awesome components for these platforms and many others. You're one of few, so I really do appreciate you guys. And I just want to say a huge thank you again. All right, definitely can't end the video without a startup at least. We're not gonna do the coding in this video, but I can at least show you what it sounds like without the secondary air injection pump on startup. So I'm not gonna lie, not hearing that whine on startup was like music to my ears right now. All right, what's going on, everyone? Back in the studio now, working on the edit. But I just wanted to hop in again to give a huge shout out and thank you to VRP for sending those block off plates over and supporting the channel. Really appreciate it. Can't say that enough. Definitely go check out all of their products. I'll link their website and all their socials below. So definitely go give them a follow. Go check out what they have to offer. Something to definitely be on the lookout for from VRP is their new 2.9 liter supercharger kit for the M113K. And it's also going to have an adapter kit for the NA M113s that they're going to announce at a later time. So definitely something I have on my list of things for possibilities for the C55. So we'll see what happens. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions or comments, comment down below in the comment section. Leave a like, subscribe, and I will see you all on the next one. Peace.